H diddly I, J.K. Reno, they it is. James Dempsey, a man who, forgot to write himself an intro today. Let's talk about black fucking metal. I got a roundup I'm going to run through 5 recent releases. I took some notes. And quick shout out to the Dutchman, I presume he's Dutch, at Black Metal Promotion that enables this handy feature, because this is where I'm snagging all of these from. You make do with what you got in the jolly 21st century. Alright, so recent stuff that I gave a quick scan to and passed judgment upon. Number 1, Darvaza. We Are Him, from just a couple of days ago. Now this one seems to be some Italian guy that's got a guy from Behexen singing for him, which is good selling point. I was reminded maybe of Ophir mode played with a metronome. But in spite of that, I kind of enjoyed it. I might listen to it a second time. Numerically, of course, if you are unfamiliar with our metric here, we go on 3 tiers. Number 1 on the music, number 2 on the album cover and general aesthetic of the release, and number 3 slotting in where I predict its historical impact will lay, largely to give myself a number to bring down averages and knock them down a peg so they don't get too snotty on their way into the Dempsey hole. Alright, so this one I give about 5 for musical enjoyment. It's a little precise, a little pristine for my taste, a little lacking in feral bestiality, but tidily religious. And yeah, the guy from Behexen, I mean, you have him because he knows what he's doing. Artwork, I gave it an 8. I really dug this cover, along with the other one that they have here. Very restrained, very tasteful, very fucking cult. I remember when Despel Omega dropped Fas Ite, and I took it home and opened it up, and that was 2007, right? I was living with a few people at this house with my young family, and situation. There was this skater punk kid that he was one of those prototype black metal hipster posers, super into Burzum and Old Man's Child and just kind of shit like that. And I was sitting at the table with him when I opened the CD, and I pulled it out. As you probably know, just a pretty plain looking CD. Yeah, sorry Phil, I'm gonna right there. And I said, that is one fine looking album. This one's gonna be a good one. And he says, it looks kind of plain. And I said, I know, it's so fucking cold. And of course, I was correct. That is a good album. An interesting one. Maybe more than a good one, but yeah. I'm going to be bold and knock this as a 2 for historical significance, because it is a technically Behexen side project, and because there's some promise shown in here, and that ranks it in as a strong 5 altogether. Next one I'm covering is Promestier Dormientium. And I deem this also one to watch for. There's a couple releases. It's a fairly new band, and that's kind of a red flag for me, but whatever. Some people are more prolific than others. This one, again, the orthodox style, I guess, and I ranked it at a 5 for enjoyment. These were a couple of pretty solid ones that I will consider checking out and digging further into. And again, on the artwork here, I gave this one an 8. I would, if I was going over the other one, maybe go down a little bit because it just kind of has a whiff of the craft. And this one is no less derivative, but more derivative of a general vibe and less derivative of a pretty specific vibe that Kraft kind of just made their own. And for significance, this one was, I have to check my notes again, but if I recall correctly, this one is, oh no, I'm thinking of the next one actually, we'll get to that. But it was a to watch for. We'll follow with some interest their progress if it comes, but I anticipate this coming in at a 1 on the historical significance, which brings it in at an average of a weaker 5. The next one I got is Thokkian Vortex, and when it came to aesthetic, they were marked down 1 full point for that name. I don't like that name. I gave it about a 3 for enjoyment. It was a solid album. You know, I believe we took notes on this one in particular because this one, somebody said it really well. I was like, this one, a 3 for enjoyment, and a 4 for artwork. I'm going to be generous. The art's a little cringe, but regardless, it's in the style. Very derivative of Despel Omega, but it's black metal. I'm not expecting a whole hell of a lot out of it. Now, historical significance on this one was a 0, ranking it in at a strong 2 on average. Now, I mentioned I was culling these from the Black Metal Promotion channel. Subscribed Julie to that channel for that very reason. This was from the review. Someone seems to do a lot of this, in fact. This cat says, there is a notable improvement of song structure and composition on this new album, which I would believe, compared to Yata Yata Yata. A sound that at times could remind us of bands like Dimmu Borgir, Satyricon, Lambonic Art, Emperor, even something from the Swedish band Dark Funeral, just to name a few. That's why it's 0, bro. It sounds like too much, and it doesn't sound especially commanding, regardless of how it sounds. But it was the worst thing that I have to talk about. I did this as a favor to my dear friend Julie, because she is proudly of French descent, and anytime anything is French, she is at least that interested. And so she said to me, you should say something about this one, directing my attention to it. Black Mole Dominion. Now, I looked at the cover and I said, you thought I was going to be interested in that? You were interested in that, were you? And she said, I thought it was going to sound more like Galskog than it does. She didn't actually say Galskog. She indicated to that record because she didn't remember the name, and it was adorable. I didn't like it. It is described in the archives as atmospheric black metal, and I wouldn't expect that necessarily from the artwork, the aesthetic, the name, etc. But it would have been all I needed to see. Now, as to the artwork, aesthetic, etc., 0. I don't like this. And what do I expect of it? 0. So, yeah. That's, I think, the first straight across 0 I've been able to announce on this channel. Good work, guys. Now, lastly here, Hope Behind the Hills. We're done here. I didn't give numbers to this one. It was melancholic and kind of a chore to listen to, and I didn't actually listen to all of it. I do have a job and a family and a drug habit and a lot of other things that command my time and attention. And if you like black metal sounding stuff that takes a long goddamn time and doesn't command your attention, or at least doesn't command Jim's attention, then I presume that's what this exists for. Who this exists for. I didn't give it any numbers at all. That was my second big fat 0. And yeah, so there's, I think, a dozen albums in there of a gap between that last roundup and this one, but maybe I'll get to those before the year's end. And there's also New Mayhem and oh, yes. It is a promising year ahead, my compatriots. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and fuck off and die.